So I was right, everyone. HFR 4K OLED TVs are coming out this 2018 by LG. I was right about it, and they said that the 120 hertz HFR content is going to be accessible to movies. But here's the one catch, everyone. The C7, the E7, the new wallpaper TV that's coming out this year, you're not going to be able to have HDMI 2.1 on it because the spec hasn't been finalized. So yes, you will get HFR content through Netflix, Amazon, services like that, and maybe even LG's own service for streaming content. But you will not be able to use the advantage of the HDMI 2.1, which means the Xbox One X is not going to have that advantage, and the future PS5 won't have the advantage of the, higher frame rates. And this is just horrible. Why, LG? Why did you let me down? I was so excited. I was so excited. I was ecstatic about this. You guys don't understand. I was so excited for the 2018 4K OLEDs. I was so freaking excited. And because the specs hasn't been finalized, they couldn't put an HDMI 2.1 output in the new 4K OLED, which means we're getting a half-ass 4K OLEDs that will be coming out, this spring or later this year, which is going to be the C7 and the E7. The fact that we can stream it and it has a better chip processing, which gives us better color and everything, is great. But you're giving us a half-ass TV when we should be getting the full product, which is the HDMI 2.1 output, which is what the one thing I was ecstatic for this year in 2018. So I hate to break it to you, but the 2018 4K OLEDs by LG are not, I repeat, not what you should buy this year. There is only one company right now that I think can save the 4K OLEDs for 2018, and that's going to be Sony. Please, Sony, put a HDMI 2.1 output in your 4K OLEDs that will be coming out later this year. Top LG. Tell LG that they cannot, stand for this crap. You know what I mean? You guys are going to have the advantage because the spec is going to be finalized later this year, and you guys will be able to hopefully put an HDMI 2.1 output in your new 4K OLEDs, and maybe you'll be the first to the market for everyone in 2018. I hope so much that Sony's doing this. I know Sony's working on the PlayStation 5 right now, which will probably have an HDMI 2.1 output for, games and everything, and that's going to be great, like a high frame rates, maybe 120, whatever for, games. And it's going to make games smoother, and the frame rates are going to be higher. And yeah, it's great that we can stream The Hobbit at 48 frames per second through Netflix or Amazon or whatever the hell it's going to be on. It's probably going to be on Amazon, right? I don't know, because Amazon got the rights to the freaking TV series, so I expect that maybe, the next Lord of the Rings TV series will be at 48 frames per second. Who knows, on Amazon or something. Or maybe they will have The Hobbit on there at 48 frames per second. But I'll tell you one thing here. I will tell you one thing, Internet. I am so freaking disappointed. I wanted the E8 to be my dream TV. I wanted the C7 to be my dream TV. And then the B8 is just a half-ass product with not as fast a processor as the E7. And no. The thing is about the E8 and this C8 and the B8, the new models for 2018, is they really dropped the ball here. And I've been wanting this HDMI 2.1 spec to be in these TVs all along, and I've been excited about it, right? And LG let me down. Okay, I sent them my video about HDMI 2.1, and obviously they listened to it. They put the high frame rate in there, um, spec, which I wanted, through the streaming, which I said was going to be available for movies because people thought it was just available for video games. But no, movies are being shot at higher frames, so that's awesome to have that and be able to play The Hobbit at 48 frames per second. And I think that's amazing. But the fact that there's going to be limited content, just like The Hobbit or whatever, and we're not going to be able to use it for gaming because there's no output. So, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, this E8 will be useless. No, I will not be buying the E8 this year. In fact, I am so disappointed about this. You guys have no idea how disappointed I am about this. And that's why I'm making this video right now, because I want you guys to know what's going on with 4K OLED right now. Now, Sony could save us. They could save the whole year of 2018 by releasing their 4K OLEDs when the spec is finalized. And they could top LG and finally be the king of 4K OLEDs and take their rightful place on the throne. You know what I'm saying? For 2018. But right now, LG has disappointed the hell out of me. I mean, I think it's amazing that they have a chip in there that can stream 4K movies at 120 hertz and, high frame rate, and that we can actually watch The Hobbit at 48 frames per second and everything. But the fact that they dropped the ball and not let us use this for video games really says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, this just shows that, LG doesn't really care about HDMI 2.1 yet. And that's because they're going to market this on their 2019 TVs, which we'll have to wait another year for, which should have been, out on the TVs now. And it's because they want to get the TVs out really fast. That's why. They could have just waited a little bit longer for the spec to be finalized, came out with the 2018 TVs in freaking October or whatever, and we could have had an HDMI 2.1 E8. But no, LG had to be the first to the market with their new TVs in the spring, which are probably going to be really cheap and just as cheap as the models right now, probably. And will bring down even the models last year even cheaper, but they're going to be cheap because you're not getting the full product. You're getting a half-assed product. A product that should have had HDMI 2.1 and the TV to begin with. So no, I'm going to tell everybody on here to not buy the LG 4K OLEDs for 2018. Do not buy them. Wait for the Sony 4K OLED TVs for 2018, and hopefully Sony will save the 4K OLED market this year and make an actually good 2018 4K OLED that has HDMI 2.1. Because that's what I wanted. Okay? If you're going to pay for a premium product, it better be a premium TV. And it better offer you, something other than just streaming. Streaming is fantastic. I love streaming. But 4K through digital, actual media, physical media, is always going to be better than streaming. No matter how good the processor is, no matter how good your internet is, the content you get through physical media is always going to be better because it's going to have better sound, it's going to have a better picture, and it's not just about physical media, it's also about video games. Because I'm a gamer and I also watch movies, but I watch movies more than I play games. But at the same time, I wanted those advantages to be clear, because obviously PlayStation 5 is going to have HDMI 2.1 output in it and support for, previous HDMIs. But I want a future-proof TV for that, because I know Sony's working on that, obviously, because they have to top, Microsoft in this department. So please, Sony, please release a 4K OLED TV in 2018 that has HDMI 2.1, so that we can all enjoy 4K OLED TV for 2018. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. And I'll give you an update if later on, hopefully, if Sony's 4K OLED TVs will support HDMI 2.1. Hopefully, it has an output in it, and they actually put the spec, and then the spec gets finalized, and or maybe Panasonic will be the first ones to launch it. Panasonic or Sony are the last two contenders on this list, and they're gonna launch their TVs later this year. Hopefully one of them actually does it and gets first to the market before LG does, because LG already messed up. So hopefully they top LG this year. I'm really hoping that Sony releases an HDMI 2.1 TV this year. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be waiting to buy a 4K OLED TV until somebody releases a actual 4K OLED TV with HFR, not a half-ass streaming product that doesn't support the future of 4K Blu-ray and the future of gaming as it's going to be. Because we all know that gaming is going to be the future of HDMI 2.1. So everyone, hold off your money on buying LG's 4K OLED TVs and see if Sony offers you something better. Maybe they will be the ones that win CS this year. Anyways, have a great night, everyone.